Hello, in this video we're going to learn another way to compare objects by their length, and that's by using an anchor object to help compare their length. So we're going to use a couple different anchor objects today. What an anchor object is it's picking something that you can use to compare the object that's the same to compare it against. So for example, first I'm going to use a dry erase marker as my anchor to compare different lengths to see which one is longer or which one is shorter. So it's easiest if I show you. So let's take a look here at some objects. So if I'm using my marker as a measurement tool, I'm going to compare two different scissors to see which one is longest. So again, like we said in the previous video, I'm still going to line them up against that imaginary line, or I can use the edge of my hand so that they line up. And I can see right away that this scissors goes past the dry erase marker, so I know that it's longer. Now, if I take my second pair of scissors out and I want to compare them as well, again, I'm going to line up the edge here with my marker. We can see that my markers, they're the same marker, so they are the same exact length. So I'm going to use that as an anchor object to compare these two objects. So by looking at the marker and comparing the length of the scissors to the marker, I can tell which one is longer. So for example, if I look at the red scissors, I can see that it goes way past the end of the marker there. So most of the scissors, the cutting part goes way past the end of the marker. So I know that they're longer than the marker for sure. Now if I look at the purple scissors, they're lined up at the edge, and again they go past, but they don't go past the edge very much, just by a little bit. So if I know that the two markers are the same length, they're the same size, without having to put the scissors right next to each other, I can tell that the red scissors are longer than the purple scissors. Or I could also say the purple scissors are shorter than the red scissors, because I can see how much further it goes past the marker. Let's look at another example. Let's say I want to compare the length of two different glues. I have some squirt glue and I have a glue stick, and I want to see which one is longer. So again, I'm going to use these markers. So just to show you again, they are the same exact marker. So from bottom to the top or side to side, they are the exact same length when I line them up. So if I use these as an anchor object, I can line up my glue next to my marker, my glue stick, and then I have my squirt glue. So again, line them up so that the edge is right there. I can see, let's move that away just a little bit. I can see that this glue stick is shorter than the marker and that this glue is longer than the marker. So without putting the glues next to each other, I can tell that the glue stick is shorter than the liquid glue. Or I could also say the liquid glue is longer than the glue stick. Let's try one more together, again using the marker as an anchor object. This time we have a clothespin and an eraser. So I'm going to line them up with the edges, just like that. I can put my hand against there and my hand against there. So I'm going to see how far along the marker goes against the object. So the clothespin starts here at the end of the marker and it goes almost to the lid of the marker, but not quite, just a little bit below, almost with that little black end of the label goes to. And then if I look at the eraser, I can see that it goes partway through about to the P. So if I look at the two and where they end, which one is shorter? You're right, the eraser is shorter. It doesn't go as far along the marker. And which one is longer then? The clothespin. So we can also put them next to each other and check that. So yep, even when I take those markers away, I can see that the clothespin is longer than the eraser, or the eraser is shorter than the clothespin. So that's just another way to compare objects. I can use an anchor object. It could be a marker. It could be a popsicle stick. It could be a string. It could be really anything that you can use to compare the length of objects.